Day 3 of the 44 Cup Nanny Cay is looking really interesting, with 7 to 17 knots on the forecast and lots of cloud activity over the hills. We're expecting unstable winds on the racecourse, a tricky day for tacticians and teams overall. Let's dive straight into the action. This is the start of race 7 on day 3 of the 44 Cup in the British Virgin Islands. In the background you can see Road Town on the island of Tortola. And as the boats come off the start line now, it's a good start for Charisma, the boat furthest left in the picture, and next to them Peninsula, the bright blue boat as well. But down the right hand side of the racecourse, it's Team Aqua that sped off into the left. But what's happened down at the start is Team Nanny Cay, the overall leaders of the season, have had to go back off the start line. And their main rivals, Team Ref, are bottom right of the picture at the moment, having a tough time off the start line. As it comes to the top, it's been all about the left-hand side. That's the side that Team Aqua, who's currently leading into the Windward Mark, came from. The boats from that side seem to have had a slightly bit better pressure, and in this wind that's a little bit unstable and fickle, that's been the deciding factor on this first upwind. The mastman pulling rapidly on the halyard to get the kite in the air, the jib's gone down, and they're off and away. The next boat round looks like to be Charisma, with them Black Star coming round in third. Charisma currently vying for the overall lead in the regatta, doing a lovely job on this first leg of the first race of today. Round in 4 of an ever-improving Team Aleph. They're looking to up their game today, and they've done a good job on this first beat, in touch with the top 3, and right on the heels of Black Star as they exit away from the mark. The overnight leaders, Team Artemis, they're equally in a great position here. 5th, not far off. Oh, it's very close though. It's tight between Team Peninsula here, who just sneaking around the mark, and Team Nanny Cay, who've done a great job to battle back from having to go back from an on-course side start. Down the run here, we see all the boats preferring, or most of the boats preferring, to sail on starboard jibe out of the Windward Mark. That's because the wind's dropped. It's very hard to manoeuvre the boats when it's this light, and the boats, the tacticians and helmsmen don't really want to have to jibe unless they have to. 2 boats have needed to jibe out because of the dirty wind, and they're heading off into the right hand side of the racecourse as we look at the picture. Down this first run, it's been a great run for Team Aqua. They've extended away their blue Ellen MacArthur Cancer Trust logo, showing them nice and clearly. They drop smoothly down into this starboard hand rounding for them coming out of the leeward gate, and they've got a good, comfortable lead here going into the second upwind. But what's going on? The wind's dropped. Much more unstable, big dark clouds coming over the race course, and off in the far distance as we look up into the breeze, maybe there's some rain on the islands in the distance. That's meaning that the wind's becoming much patchier, much lighter, much more fickle, and harder for the teams to read, but B, to be able to ghost these 44 feet long racing machines into and out of. So the second boat round, turning around the port hand rounding mark now, just trying to eke their boat upwind, trying to accelerate, and that's Team Aleph. They've had a great downwind. They've jumped 2 boats and they're now into second. Third boat round is Team Charisma. Nico Poon's steering his team round the mark there, off out into the left-hand side of the racecourse, followed by a rapidly improving Team Black Star. As they come up the next portion of the beat, it's been about this left side. The guys in Team Aleph have gained relative to Team Aqua. Team Aqua attacking there, trying to get the smooth exit out of their tack to carry their momentum into the Windward Mark. This is their last approach up into the top mark, and they're going to be wanting to use all that speed they're generating now to be able to carry into the next leg of the course. It's a tight ley line for them though, in this really light fickle breeze. It looks like they're just accelerating nicely, and as they get the boat going, there's a little bit more wind coming. The fleet's super spread out. There's been a big change in the shift up here, and although these 2 boats have kept their lead, The rest of the pack are really fighting hard to be able to keep in touch with what's going on. A right shift has meant that some boats have gained, but Aleph here in second, still maintaining their position from the leeward mark. But who do we see here? It's Team Wow from Turkey. They've had a great second upwind. They've gone from 7th through into 3rd and leapfrogged a number of boats. Another boat that's made some gains is Team Nika, and they're coming round in 4. So that fast improving team from Turkey here, pulling hard on the sheets, rapidly spinning those handles of the grinders, and it's an Indian, it's a jibe set at the mark for them to try and get onto the favoured port jibe downwind towards the finish line. Because they've jibed, Team Nika are going to stand on, get some separation, get their boat going, and then take their angle down in a little bit more space before they come onto port jibe. What's happened here? There's been some sort of disaster on the hoist of Team Aqua. Their kite has got a huge hole in the bottom 3rd. They've still managed to just about keep the boat going nicely though, and they're jibing here for a starboard jibe to try and approach into the bottom of the race course and approach into the last portion of the race, into the finish. Team Aleph aren't giving them any grounds here though. They're pushing and pushing to try and leapfrog them to get the win in this race. The hole in the spinnaker for Team Aqua is pretty sizable. It goes all the way up into the first quarter of the spinnaker. It must be having a bit of an influence on them, but they're doing a really, really good job of holding on to their first place, even with that big impact of much less sail area. And jibe coming into the finish. Can they set the kite with this big hole? Yes, they do. They set the kite. The boat starts to accelerate, but look at that. They've even got part of the kite laying on the foredeck to try and stop it dragging in the water. Aleph gaining, still gaining into the finish. And as they come down here, the committee boat's right in front of them. Team Aqua have to give room to Aleph because it's a rounding mark. And you can see the bowman on Team Aqua there just holding the limp piece of the spinnaker that's torn away from the rest of the kite. Are they going to make it? Yes, they're just going to cross the line just in front and eke their first race win of the regatta. Great job for maintaining even with the impact of not having a perfect spinnaker. So first Team Aqua, second Aleph, third Charisma, 4th Team Wow. So let's hear from Cameron Appleton, the tactician on Team Aqua, who's going to run us through what happened on the incident with their kite.
Very tricky start because right before the race started, we had some rain come in, the breeze built, and then it started really tapering off after that. We had a really nice start at the pin and managed to keep our nerve all the way around. We tore our chute really badly in the hoist and had to hold off the fast charging a left all the way downwind without actually ripping it completely. So it's a bit of high pressure and quite tense on board for that final run, but we were pleased that we came off on the good side of it.
Race 8 starts in a little bit more wind than the last race, but still really quite light. It's favoured towards the pin end of the start line, but the boats are reasonably well spread. And as we come off the line here, who's looking good? Looks like at the bottom of the line, at the furthest away from the camera, it's Team Aleph. They've done another nice job on their start and accelerating off into the right hand side of the picture at the moment. Next up from them is Charisma and then Team Siref Vader, but a lovely start in the middle from Team Aqua. Coming up to the top, they've extended well. They've put some real distance between them and the next boat, Team Blackstar. And as they get into the top mark, that's probably a 6 or even 7 boat length lead. Nice and cool and calm. No more spinnaker entertainment like they had in the first race. The team look well poised now to launch that big Jennifer up into the air and accelerate themselves off downwind on leg 2. Blackstar having a great race here, looking to make some gains. Second place, good results so far. Then the bright blue boat from Team Peninsula, and then it's nip and tuck. But between in fourth and fifth is Artemis and Team Nika. So the grinders and the trimmers hoisting that halyard on the kite to get the kite fast into the sky there on the Black Star boat. The jib's already down. Great work from the bow team. Looking down the track now, we're really looking for any little patches of pressure, but it's very light. All the teams moving forwards in the boat, trying to get the big wide transom of the boat out of the water. Smooth steering here from John Bassadoni and his team Peninsula. They're trying to eke the boat downwind, make sure they're using all the speed they've generated from that turn and putting that big spinnaker in the sky. Oh, but look, it's Team Nika who've just rolled over the top of Team Artemis. Is that going to put Artemis under pressure? Are Artemis actually going to be able to get around the buoy? It's tight. It's super tight here. Nika having to stay high to avoid, but yes, Artemis managed to squeak their way around. As we look across the course, we've got a huge spread in the fleet now. Some teams looking for gusts and a bit of wind on the nearest to the picture here. That's Team Aqua and Team Black Star. Then over the far side, looks like Peninsula's leading a charge into the far side near the shore. Who's going to win out? It looks like Aqua have spent a little bit of their lead, but it's a great drop there, nice and late coming into the port hand rounding mark for Team Aqua to go back upwind into the third leg of the race. Grinders just trimming on the jib there nicely, turning the boat up, and it's Peninsula that's gained from sailing a good route down the left hand side of the screen as we look at it. They've leapfrogged Team Black Star and are now in a position to try and make sure that they get close and push Team Aqua for the overall lead in this race. The boats are spread now, they're looking upwind, and in the far distance beyond the tops of the masts we can see there's maybe a dark patch, a little area of darker wind. We're trying to work out the best way to get to that. Looks like Team Aqua have had it relatively straightforward here because they were leading, a little more freedom to pick the route they want, and they've sailed nice and smoothly. They're getting into the top here with a significant distance. Sailed a really nice job, but oh, there's a bit of a wine glass in the spinnaker. It's popping out though, so that's good. Really, really nice work here from this team. They're sailing superbly today, and in these light and fickle conditions, maybe this is their new unique selling point, their new key skill. They're really reading the conditions super well. The Tactician obviously got a really good handle on what's going on and the changes that are happening with this unstable, puffy, cloudy, unstable conditions. Looking back upwind now from the camera angle, we see Peninsula hard left, the rest of the fleet all on starboard jibe here mostly, and the rest of the fleet are wanting to get to this left-hand side of the racecourse because they think that's where the wind is. As watching here is an inside jibe from Team Aqua. The kite pops, they get on angle, the mainsail battens pop, and they rock the boat flat to accelerate away on starboard jibe here. Really is a very, very large lead, and that's going to give them an absolutely brilliant race result here for their second win of the day. Coming downwind as well though, the fleet in the pack from like 3 or 4 to 7 is super compressed. Peninsula jibing now, they've done a good job and they're jibing in second. Congratulations to Team Aqua, Chris Bake, a little fist pump there from his main sheet trimmer Andy Escort. Lovely work there from the team. Still some boats coming down. The red spinnaker of Black Star and the other boats all about to jibe to come into the finish. Really tight across the line. So over to John Bassadoni, the helm and owner of Team Peninsula.
The event so far, it's pretty brilliant. Lovely place. You know, it doesn't get more beautiful than this. Very tricky though, as you can see with you know, our 2 results of today from a 9th and a 2nd. Yeah, can be quite frustrating. We just need to stay calm and be patient because as you can see, anything can happen until the very end. But yeah, we're doing okay. A bit frustrated with the first one today. but same with yesterday. Again, there were a lot of snakes and ladders, but all in all, really cool.
We're looking at race 9, and the start of race 9 is busier at the starboard end here. It's Team CRF Vader who are just slingshotting their way off the start line here. It's very close to Team Black Star. Are they over the line? No, it looks like they are. Oh, they're having to make a decision. It's just being called now. They're having to slow down to try and let everybody go past. They can bear away and turn back and go back across the line because of the fact they were over the line early. Already though, Peninsula, they want the right hand side. They're blue boat, they're tacked, and they're off to the right hand side of the race course. But again, looking in the far distance, we've got Team Aleph down at the pin end of the line with Team Wow just tacking up. A solid start from Team Aqua. They really are having a really good day here, and they're coming into the top of the course. It's Team Aqua with just below them Team Aleph. Both of those boats doing well, and those guys are super close to Team Nika. They're all fighting tooth and nail for every little millimetre they can on the race course. All the boats just squeezing in here. Aleph trying to push high to prevent Aqua from rolling over the top of them. A lovely turn down here from the helm on Team Aleph, and Team Nika want to take a bit of advantage of that, and they sail deep below the boat in second, which was Aqua. Aqua being forced to go high here, and Nika deep exit out the mark with Team Charisma gaining on those as well. As we're looking at the next boats round, it's Team Artemis and Peninsula. The tightness of the fleet right now, everybody's really on their game and pushing super hard at each mark rounding and for every small little advantage they can on the race course. As we come into the bottom, the boats that have held on starboard and jibe for the ley line, doing pretty nicely. It's a lovely drop from the Aleph team here. They're going to come round. They've jibed once in a corner, minimum manoeuvres, accelerating now the boat upwind to sail into the right hand side of the screen here, the right hand side of the race course. And as we look up the fleet, up the course, we see a bigger, darker patch of wind, a little bit of shadow, but there's for sure a little bit more wind over there. Most of the boats really wanting to come out of this port hand rounding mark. Nika coming round in 2. Team Charisma very close to the back of the Team Nika boat, and also then the Peninsula guys coming round with water on that team there. Very close between those 3 boats as they come round that leeward mark. Nika, Charisma and Peninsula. That gives Artemis just behind a little bit of a space here, and they can come round, have a little bit more freedom, followed closely by Team CRF Vader and then Black Star. At the top, it's been Aleph. They've sailed a solid, smooth and consistent beat here, reading the conditions well. Michele Ivaldi, the tactician, doing a lovely job on their tactics and positioning as they go up this beat. The tack of the kite's going out smoothly. The kite's being helped out by the bowman. The boat's onto its new angle, and they've got a lovely big lead here. Going to be super valuable for them if the conditions get a bit lighter. But as we look back in the pack, it's all on. Team Nika in second. That's going to be a good result for them. But who's coming in third? It's Charisma in third, from Peninsula in 4, Artemis in 5, and Team CRF Vader made some gains in 6. So as we look back up the course, it's the last downwind, Aleph all the way in this race. Sailing smoothly, sailing nicely, keeping the boat at speed, making sure they sail into each new patch of wind. But there are 6 boats all coming in here, all on starboard jibe. The furthest right of those Team CRF Vader, and they're hoping that the last little shift's going to help them let down into the mark. But I think most of the 3 boats in the foreground on starboard are going to be able to come down on starboard and bear away down and still finish. So as we look at this, looking back up the course now, Team Aleph have finished. They've won this race outright. It's been a fantastic performance for them. Who's it going to be coming down into second place though? It's super tight. It's the yellow t-shirts of the Team Nika team. They've kept it cool, kept it calm, and made sure they've been consistent down this downwind. They've protected their second place. They're going to come in. It's a slight advantage to the boy end of the finish line here, so that makes it nice and easy for them, straight down through the finish line. And then in third, good for them for the overall standings for the regatta here in BVI's, is Team Charisma, and fourth is Peninsula. So Team Nika down through the finish in second place. Good for them in their overall charge for the overall season title. They are within 4 places of Team CRF going at the end of this regatta. They win overall. A great day of racing on the water. Fickle, unstable, cloud-driven, a tough tactical game for the Tacticians, a tough game for the boats on the water and the teams, everybody under a lot of pressure. But wow, doesn't that tee us up nicely for a really frenetic day on the last day tomorrow.